Hopefully it works. And yes, just for you to remind, we have rules of procedure that were approved already by the previous board. So I sent you the to the GC chat. Maybe that we might start with a short introductory round, because there are a lot of guests here, and also the board members are mostly here for first time. So my name is Mikuláš Peksa. I'm currently chairperson of the European Pirate Party, and I'm also elected MEP for the Czech Pirates to the European Parliament. And with that, I'm transferring to the next one in the round, which is Cedric. Cedric lost the sound, so I would transfer to the other vice chair, which is Veronika.
Hi, can you hear me just a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize if I fell off. I'm on a train from Berlin. So I'm a member of the Czech Pirate Party. I lead the team which deals with transportation topics within the party. And in my, what I say, real life, I work for environmental NGO. That's about it. I will pass on to someone else. Yes, Flori, I know I'm on a train. I can't really do anything, but there's a group of loud people next to me. So I'll pass it to someone else.
Okay. Then the next one, Alessandro, would you take over?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Alessandro from Italy, Pirati and the Pirate Party of Sweden, and I'm here as elected treasurer. Hopefully, I prepare something to you later, a little gift that I hope that it will help us to create a great group. Thank you, everyone. And I think that the next one in the list is Florian, right?
So, hello guys, I'm Florian. I'm a French pirate, currently working there as a treasurer. My obsession currently is finance stuff and statutes, so I'm planning on doing a lot of things around this in PPEU. And yeah, already pushed a few things, and hopefully we can set a path for the future here.
Yes, Elizabeth, it was possible to hear him. Hopefully it worked for you as well. Worst case scenario, please refresh the browser. And who is next? Mia.
Hello, I'm Mia. I'm from Pirate Party Germany. And I have been before on this board, like a year before. And then I had to stop because I had no time anymore. But now it's going better. I'm also in the Berlin board of pirates. And like I'm an awareness officer in Germany. Hello.
So you may pass the word to someone else, or I would invite Petra.
Sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Petra. I'm a Slovenian pirate. I'm currently the vice chair of Slovenian Party, and I'm working for the Ministry of Digitalization of Slovenia, and I'm currently at the business trip, so I apologize because like in 10 minutes I'll have to run, and I'll try to type the answers if that will be possible. I apologize for the inconvenience.
So if you don't want to transfer the word to anyone else, I would invite Elizabeth. Hope she can hear me, or it does not work. So maybe Honza would take over. Okay, seems we cannot hear each other.
It seems that Elizabeth has some issues, maybe network issues or something like that. But Jan just came in. Maybe Elizabeth, because nobody is speaking, just me and Mikuláš. So would you like to try to speak?
No, it actually can happen that sometimes people are not to be heard, or some people cannot hear the others, because probably the Jitsi works that way, that it connects people, like everybody to everybody, and sometimes not all the connections are really established. So anyone else who would be stepping into the introductory round? Map, are you here?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, finally, it works.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear me, it works. I just don't hear everybody. I hear some, which is weird. But I am Elizabeth of Iceland. I am a member of the Pirate Party. We are quite. We have 5,000 plus members and a couple of people in Congress. We're the third biggest party in Iceland. I've never done any work like this, but I am studying digital learning design, and coming here was hard, I must say, and I really want to start by creating onboarding material for new members. I am a teacher and I know how to ask questions, and I'm just think I'm gonna just be listening in on how you do things this first meeting at least. Okay.
That's certainly legit. Thank you. So shall we go to, let's say, members of the COCC Council who are present here? Peter?
Hi, hello. I'm not sure if you can hear me, and I apologize if you can hear a lot of noise. I'm also super public space right now. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm here just as a guest, listen, maybe help, join whatever stuff you're going to do. My name is Peter. I'm from the PP Czech Republic. I was on the last board. I think I met most of you in Strasbourg, who I didn't meet. Looking forward to do some work together, and good luck with everything.
Thanks. So is it Honza already on the? Is Honza already on the line?
Yeah. Also, it's introductory round, or?
Yes, we have a lot of guests also here.
Okay, so I'm Honza or Jan. Mareš from the Czech Pirate Party. I've been in the last PPEU board and the one before it, and I'm looking forward to to whatever happens.
Thanks a lot. So I would start with the guests. I see Flory here. But I can't hear her.
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, I'm Flory. I'm the last vice chair of your board, and now I am the chair of the International Pirate Parties board. And I'm just listening to you, and I hope that you will work well with your new board. And congratulations for your elections, new members. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I would maybe give a space for Janusz.
Oh yeah, but Mr. President, sorry for this, but I'm late because I'm back from running, from jogging, and I will be after 20 minutes. Okay, I want to say only hello and thanks for Czech Pirate Party for meeting in Liberec, and greetings for new congratulations for new our council. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So who's else? Bastian. Seems not to be responding, so I would ask Grafu. I don't know, sorry if I'm pronouncing it poorly. Grafu. It's Vincent. Okay, okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Vincent, and I'm from PPFR, and I'm also treasurer of Young Pirates. Yeah, I will be glad to listen what you have to say today.
Perfect, thank you. Now, among the other people, we have Map, hopefully.
Yes, I am here. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthias Björneman, but it's shortened to MOB. And I work as the Pirate Parties Network Officer for the Pirate Delegation in the European Parliament.
I see. So among the other all the people, I think everybody was already introduced except of Bastian. Is Bastian again on the line? Okay, he seems to be unable to hear us, so maybe we will just skip it and move to the other points of the agenda. So effectively, I think that you see the proposal for the agenda. I think on line 47 and farther on, we should probably do sort of like an approval of the agenda as it is proposed. So I would ask you, are there any like proposals how to improve, alternate, change this agenda as it is proposed here? Please raise your hand if you have any ideas. I see no hand risen, so we are probably happy with the agenda. So I would ask the members of the board to exercise the voting. So look into the pad, please, and it's on the line 87 farther on. Type your name to yes, no, or abstain according to whether you are in favor, against, or abstain on the agenda. It's quite simple, but we will have more like funny votes later on. Hopefully, or not. And I would say yes, please vote within the minutes itself, not within the proposed agenda. That would not help. Alessandro, 6 people voting in favor of the agenda. Petra voted in favor of the agenda. So, repeat chest. Mia voted in favor of the agenda. So, whom are we missing? Okay, we are all there. So, this exercise was successful. We have passed the agenda and we have approved the agenda for the meeting. And probably makes no sense to approve the minutes from the last meeting as the board is in the different composition, but we will keep this point in the template for future. And we also keep the point of confirmation of any decision taken in between board meetings, because there were so far no board meetings taken. And we can go to the decisions without the discussion, which is time and place for the next board meeting and time and place for next council meeting. We had today a debate with MAP regarding how could we organize that. So I think we might offer you a proposal how to schedule it. MAP, would you have the opportunity to actually introduce us the proposal?
Yes, I realize that these points today might not be without discussion, but in the future, hopefully, these kinds of decisions should be able to be taken without discussion. So we went backwards. Basically, the first good opportunity for a council meeting would be the 8th of July to combine with a physical meeting in Strasbourg the day before. To be able to prepare that, we need some board meetings in between. And the first one would be this one, and then the next board meeting would be the 22nd of May, then the 5th of June, then the 26th of June, and on line 138 and downwards, you can basically see what would be on those different board meetings. There's an overview of an agenda with everything for 2023, and the board meetings are in bold italic. But my suggestion would be that perhaps we wait until we've discussed the point 2.4, and then we go back to this 1.1 and 1.2, because I think we need to discuss 2.4 to actually be able to make these decisions here. If I understood Alessandro correctly, he would also want to have 3.1 as a very early point, so that we discuss that even before we go to 2, even though it's a discussion without decision.
Okay, that seems as, let's say, a reasonable proposal, for we might have it voted within the agenda. So, as this is actually considered to be decision without the discussion, I think we probably shall do this within 2.4 and postpone it and start with the next point on the agenda, which is define a common goal for 2023 as it is proposed here. Might I ask whoever is like author of that proposal to actually a little bit explain on what is the idea? Yes, Alessandro.
Yes, thank you, Mikuláš. The original proposal was mine. If you remember, we had a quick meeting in Strasbourg just after the election, after the board election, an informal meeting. and the idea came from there. So basically, to be effective as a team, we should define, first of all, a long-term goal that could be, in my opinion, let's say, for instance, the 2023 goal for the board. Meaning that, imagine that we are running a long project that has a lot of things in the meanwhile to be done, but with one or maybe two, or I don't know, maybe even three, but main goals, right? So basically, apart from the stuff like maintaining the things running, right? That means almost nothing because it's just ordinary. We should have some in mind, some goal, right? So what we miss in last, because I was there also in the last, I think 3 or 4 boards, and we achieved something great. For instance, we met all together a couple of times in the council meetings. We also had really great stuff done. But what we miss, in my opinion, is a common idea altogether, focus on common goals. For instance, what we would like to achieve right now with this board in 2023. It could be even a small thing, but everything we will decide and everything we will do collectively or in sub-teams or sub-teams or whatever, with the help of everyone in our huge and great organization, would be done to achieve a common goal. So, for instance, the common goal could be, I don't know, the 2024, prepare the 2024 elections, or be able to finally become or start the step to become a European recognized party, whatever it is. I'm fine with that. I have some suggestions, but I'm open to discussion. Thank you.
Okay, so I would suggest when discussing that, please raise your hand whether you have like a contribution. Please keep in mind that we should comprise the meeting, let's say, within an hour, maximum within half an hour, 1.5 hours. So please be comprehensive. And now, if I may suggest, like, my personal view on into the for this topic, I think we should certainly get prepared from the 2024 elections, which means in practice prepare the common European election program, the post-electoral strategy, and ideally schedule at least one big, let's say, personal meeting before the elections as, let's say, the kickstart of the campaign. That would be, from my point of view, goals that makes in this context sense. Probably we will not be able to register the party this year because that requires the respective representatives, and we would have to have them before the end of the September. But that might be a task for the next board, or for simply what we will try to achieve after the next election next year, or because then we would have more like elected people. So with that, let's continue with the discussion. Anyone having some insights? That's not really many insights. So I don't know, Alessandro, any more ideas you would want to propose, or Florian?
Yeah, I think Alessandro mentioned that we have to keep things running, but as for the moment, a lot of things haven't been running properly. So one of our goals would be to get things straight on this aspect. This is obviously related to budget and our architecture decisions, either in the banking account and our technical resources, because I'm fairly new in the board and I have a lot of trouble understanding what works with what and who is in charge of what. So I think one of our goals is to stabilize our architecture and maybe a small touch of status reform with this ongoing project of a second chamber. Yeah.
Okay, Alessandro, and then Elizabeth.
Yes, that's exactly my thoughts after the first meeting. I have ADHD and I need visuals. I'm probably on the spectrum, and just to have like links bombarded and being like all this information in one go, I freaked out and I was gonna back out, but because I need the hierarchy, I need to see who's in charge of what. I had to ask MAP for just give me one project that I can do before the next meeting. So and just the idea that all of us should take care of the minutes, I don't understand that. It's just like, who's responsible then? So yeah, I second that with immense emotions.
Thank you, Alessandro.
Yes, if I may add something to the conversation, is that as far as I can see, these are all the things that has been said by you, Mikuláš, by Florian, and by Elizabeth are represent exactly what has to be done literally in a hierarchical process. Because, for instance, what Elizabeth mentioned is not a goal for a year, right? It's something that absolutely needs to be done. By the way, for the minutes, for instance, while I'm speaking, I could be in charge of taking care of the minutes, but while I'm speaking, I can't. I'm sorry, I can do only one thing at once, and even not so good. So, but two things at once, for sure, they will be both poor. And Florian said that actually we need to let a lot of things running in the right way, because we failed in the past, and is absolutely fine. But again, this is something that it's needed to achieve the bigger goal, right? So to prepare 2024 elections in the proper manner, we have to set a lot of things. For instance, we can't at the end of this year arrive and have a budget that is not properly done, right? We can't have whatever needs to create this budget properly, like, for instance, IT assessment and whatsoever, spending, whatever. We can't make it not done. We have to do it. So you see, these are all very, very important tasks that has to be run collectively or individually or whatever, in a team or in a group or individual, no matter. But they are functional to achieve a wider project. So I think that the only wider project I can see here on the table are prepare the elections in 2024 or try to register the PPU as a party. But I second the opinion that Mikuláš put on the table, that we will not be able to do this within September in the proper way. And so basically we have only one goal this year, in my opinion. That is to prepare the 2024 election. Thanks.
Mia, and then I would also like to say something. Or sorry, that was MAP asking for the word.
Yes, so I think you might want to start smaller. The way I see it, this year will be in two phases. Well, three if you count the phase that has already happened, where you were not the board. But you have the first phase, which is between now and the next council meeting. And for that, you have clear tasks set by the council. You're supposed to finalize the Common European Election Programme, or make sure that the next council meeting can finalize that. and you're supposed to take care of the discharge of last year. So the annual reports and then also the budget for this year. Those are the things that you're expected to do by the council, and you report to the council. My assessment is that those two tasks, plus learning how to work as a team and figuring out who's in charge of what and how everything functions, will be everything you can do between now and the summer. And then after that, you have the rest of the year. So my advice would be to only set goals, and basically those goals between now and the summer. And then in the summer, when you hopefully have a physical meeting, there you will be able to have a bigger and more in-depth discussion on what your goals for the rest of the year should be. I worry that if you already now try to make a plan for the entire year, you might bite off more than you can chew.
Thank you. So maybe I would wrap up. Yeah, when we are talking about the common goal, I would suggest that we have 3 priorities based on the previous discussion. The first priority would be preparation for the next European elections. Under that scope for everything from like the common program, the post-electoral strategy, the let's say the next council meeting, and so on. Then there would be a second priority. I would call it make finances great again, because we were tasked by council to kind of like finalize the discharge for the previous year that was not really like finalized, and also like get the processes more smoother. And the third priority would be mapping of the structures and processes within the PPEU, so that we have sort of like a documentation and let's say processes for onboarding. Does that make sense as the 3 like big goals for this board to achieve that we would like to do, let's say, through this year and the beginning of the next one? With of course like the understanding that the preparation for the PPE for the European election is probably something we need to focus like immediately, together with the finances, because we need to finalize them before the next council meeting effectively, or most of the tasks, while the documentation and mapping of the processes would be something we more focus in the later part of the year. So are there any objections to that, or we might record it that this is the plan and move further on? Okay, seems there are no objections, so I would move to the second point in this session, which is creating a common backlog for 2023 based on the common goals. We have already prepared sort of like list of issues.
Sorry, Niklas, can I cut in?
What's wrong? Yeah.
There's nothing clear in the minutes that said this is what we defined as a common goal for 2023. There's a bunch of different suggestions from different people, but there's no conclusion written in the minutes at this point. It might be good to have that and to be sure that we agree on those before you move forward, so we don't miss something.
Yes, certainly. That's a very good idea. And again, we are coming to the point that we would need more volunteers for taking the minutes. But then I think we have 3 goals, actually, which is preparation for the elections next year. Then second goal would be getting finances fine again. And the third goal would be actually the mapping of processes and structures in the European Pirate Party. I'm not really sure when we come to the minutes what are the phases 1, 2, and 3, because we have not talked about phases of any type.
I brought up phases, but I think I only meant 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 would be between now and the next council meeting, where the main focus would be that council meeting, and phase 2 would be the time after, where you actually have more freedom to decide internally in the board what your goals would be.
I see. So I would say within the phase 1 before the summer, we need to work on preparations of the European elections and the finances. While in the phase 2 after the summer, we shall work on the European elections plus mapping of the processes. And if we might record it, getting things regarding finances, that's very prominent, and I think there were clear like demand to have finances. So okay, this seems to be recorded in. It seems to be recorded in the minutes, and I believe we might go to the next point on the agenda, which is the common backlog. There is a proposal for things that we should do, and that's let's say on the lines 133 in the pad, or now it's 135. There were some ideas coming from different people of what we should do. So please check it. We'll give you a little bit more time and comment on whether there are some things we certainly shall create or do. I have a first comment because I think the preparation of post-election strategy is clearly something we should do in the phase 1, because the post-election strategy has to be actually prepared to be ratified together with the program. So it's certainly phase 1.
Is there a possibility to get in the minutes when things are due, like a timeline of when things should be done?
Yeah, we have effectively started doing that. So it was recorded on the line 130 to 133. The idea is to effectively, for now, to split it into 2 phases. The phase 1 will be before the summer. Phase 2 will be after the summer. I think the summer is, let's say, the high months of like July and August, because I wouldn't expect us to meet too often during those months. I mean, like usually we had very like poor attendance when the time in the time of holidays. So that's kind of like natural division in our planning. So Alessandro?
Yeah, sorry, I would like just to remind that, of course, this is just a draft, and everyone can suggest something more to add, to be added to the backlog, or even to remove, because I think that this is how it should work. And then, of course, this is not all in one. We don't have to decide everything right now because it's an ongoing process, but still we have something in mind, and now it's clear what we would like to achieve in the first part of the year, so before the next council meeting and before summer, and what we would like to put after. So everyone, just to define the process, so maybe it's more clear also for Elizabeth that ask it many times about processes. So after that, we can try to prioritize it, to pick it up probably the sprint backlog duration, that is maybe within a board to the next board. I don't know, maybe we also have to discuss this after. So just for clarify the process, of course it's a proposal. Even the process itself, it's a proposal. We never did this. We tried actually in another way, but I think that this is more effective. So that's why I came out with this proposal. Thank you.
Thanks for doing the work, by the way. My question is, and I'm sorry, I'm the newbie, but for me to work for the board best to utilize me, I would like to get assignments or take assignments like the wiki or the web page and the onboarding procedures, and because that is what I'm good at. I'm not good at money. I'm not good at the politics. I'm good at lobbying, but that's how you would utilize me the most. So is that a possibility that some of us like we vote on projects that other members would like to do, or is this all group, everybody does everything?
Well, the idea of how to get there was effectively to first list the things we need to do, and then start assigning people to who are supposed to do them. Yeah, but we are now in the process of collecting ideas what shall be done. I see hand risen from MAP again.
I'm sorry again. I'm sorry. I'm always running ahead. I apologize.
No, don't worry. We are all through this process for first time, so I mean, we are trying to adapt. So don't worry. It's certainly a good idea to ask if you are not sure about how to proceed.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's will be under 2.3.3. Assigned tasks for the next sprint is where we will start handing out tasks, and that should have been made clearer in the agenda beforehand, but I'd never got around to write all explanatory notes that I had hoped to do. I'm sorry about that. I also had a question. It says get in touch with every European Pirate Party to get them in, and I don't know what we get them into.
I'm not really sure who is author of that proposal, but if there is an author of that proposal, if there is the author of the proposal, please speak. Elizabeth?
Not the author, but that was my idea as well. To I was a delegate. Is there a list of all the delegates, and should one contact them? I mean, I think some pirate parties are not working, or they've, how do you call it? They're not operating at this time. So just to know who is operating, who is and get the newest info, because the wikis of all the pirate parties are really outdated. Like in Iceland, I can't find anybody who is updating it. So, and that's Iceland.
I see. That's very reasonable idea that we should do an overview of the status of our members. So that's certainly something we should have in the backlog. And what comes to my mind, we should probably also do an overview of administration of our systems, because I roughly know who takes or shall theoretically take care of, let's say, the social media and stuff like that, but web page and so on. But often it works that way, that the people are just delivering on partial part of the tasks and not really like covering the whole spectrum of producing and maintaining the content. So I would suggest to the backlog also making an overview of our system maintenance. And that's something we should probably do also within the phase 1.
We already had created an overview of our communication channels. We could probably update that to say all systems.
Yes, that's probably very, very reasonable, so that we know how it is, who has the passwords and so on. By the way, I had to restart today the password for Twitter account because there was no way how to get there inside. So if you feel some struggles, then let me know. So yeah, we should record the stuff to the wiki. That's very good command. Okay, I see there are a lot of tasks which are in the backlog associated with particular phases when it shall be fulfilled. I think they all more or less like fall under the scope of our big goals or the priorities, as we said in the previous point. So I would suggest maybe approve the list of priorities. Map, is there the hand risen? Is it forgotten one, or do you want to say something?
Oh, one, sorry.
Okay.
You're calling for the approval of the backlog, right? With the phases, the major phase 1 and phase 2, right, Nicholas?
Yes, that's precisely what I would like to do.
Okay.
And meanwhile, as we are voting, we might move to the next point on the agenda or sub point, which is decide a common tool to follow the progress. I think we have had a short discussion on this topic through the.
No, sorry, Miklos. We still need to define the duration actually, because I guess that you are we have maybe multiple ideas here, because the duration is important. How it's important, the duration of our sprint, right?
I think it somehow corresponds to the, let's say, definition what is phase 1 and phase 2 so far. Effectively, things which are in the phase 1 are supposed to be finished before the summer, while those which are in phase 2 are supposed to be finalized later on after the summer.
No, sorry. If I just I would like to make the process a bit more clear, then I will let everyone else speak. The thing is that we divide the goal into two, let's say, sub-huge goals that there are before summer, after summer, right? Phase 1 and phase 2. These are our goals for this year. And this is totally fine. To arrive there, we have multiple sprints. For instance, to arrive from here, we are in May the 4th to July, I don't know, the 26th, I don't know, when we will stop the summer phase 1. We have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, even 4. We could have small chunk of these tasks, right? Because, for instance, the IT assessment could come before the budget 2023, right, proposal, because otherwise we will not be able to do it. For instance, just talking about one thing that I have in mind, because I've already spoke with Florian about this. So every sprint goal is a little more closer, and in my opinion, it could be great if it will be between a board meeting to another board meeting. So we are more than one. We take I don't know. I take one thing with Florian, and Mab another one, and Veronica another one, and in 2 or 3 weeks or 1 week or 4 weeks, we don't know, we are doing this, right? And after that, we move forward. So this is what I mean about define a sprint backlog duration. It's not a project duration. It's just a small chunk of tasks.
I do agree. Maybe before we go into this level of details, I would suggest we first define when we have the board meetings, because the board meetings are somehow defining the sprints. And also we kind of like discuss on who takes the responsibility for which of the tasks, so that we can start like with the more detailed planning, also corresponding to what the people would like to do. Is there a hand risen from Bastian?
Yes, if you can understand me.
Yes.
Fine. Just to remind you, it's not true that we have nothing on the wiki. The wiki is very, very complex. And of course, we have, I put you the link into the chat. We have a wiki where are all resources. You can find all our resources. And yes, of course, there's not no name in person the resources, but this PPEU tech team. You can change it, of course, but nowadays we are responsible for the technique, except some other resources like MetaMask and whatever. And so you have all total overview in our wiki. Maybe it makes sense that you go into the DokuWiki, click around, and feel free to see the things and discover the things. Thank you.
That's certainly a very reasonable idea, and most of the documentation already is there. Maybe some things are outdated, and also some things are not covered by the wiki. So the idea would be to actually update the wiki so that corresponds to the true state of play. Procedurally, I would have just a comment here. We are talking already about an hour, but it would be probably great should we at least finalize the point 2.4. So if you don't mind, I would continue another half an hour and then let you go for dinner or whatever you would prefer. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I was talking about the wikis of the national pirate parties, not the PPEU wiki, but to like, I'm not sure if that was understood.
Yeah. So we shall probably consider the strategy that we will update the wiki of the European Pirate Party, and then just simply add a reference from the National Pirate Party's wiki to the PPEU wiki, because it's certainly impossible for us to actually keep updated all the National Pirate Party's wiki. Mia?
Could we just put our names on some of the now projects which we could do best or something? Or should we wait for being assigned? Like, because I know some I could do well and others I can't so well. So would be good to decide ourselves a little bit. Would that be okay?
Yes, that's probably a very reasonable solution. So if you want to volunteer on any particular project, please write your name right from the project. So I'm, for example, now writing my name on the line 142 regarding the post-election strategy. So I would like to do that one.
I would like to intervene to underline the fact that if you put your name on something, you are maybe someone responsible for it. You know, it's like you can cooperate and collaborate with every project, but as long as you put your name on it, you are somehow responsible for it. I think it's how we should proceed.
Yes, that's precisely the plan. When you want to do that, then and you sign your name, you are signing for the work, which is very exhaustive. But don't hesitate, there will be a lot of work and then criticism for those doing the work. That's normal in an involuntary organization.
I think that the most urgent thing now is define the agenda. I mean the schedule.
Yes. Which will be next point on the agenda. And also we shall decide a common tool to follow the progress.
Yes, if I may add a quick point on this topic, because the common tool to follow the progress is very important, but it can be decided later on. We don't have to decide it here, because, for instance, when we decide what has to be done and when, for instance, the T crew, I call this T crew for treasurer crew, or the air crew or whatever, can decide itself a little tool, right? Then we can talk together in a synchronous way to see, hey, we tried this, it didn't work, this is pros, cons, and we finalize maybe after some iteration a common tool. Because everything that is, you can have it also with a piece of paper. I use paper for backlog to take track of backlogs. But of course, when I have to deal with Florian, he's a Zoomer and he used all the tools, you know, the internet whatsoever, this stuff, right? So I have to adapt. Zoom around, exactly.
I would certainly say that actually a piece of paper has the disadvantage that it can't be shared online. And concerning the fact that we are like spread all over the Europe, it would be actually better to have something like an online dashboard somewhere. Yeah. So I would suggest let's have an online dashboard somewhere and put the tasks over there so that we can next time at the next like beginning of the sprint start like talking directly from that one. So I mean, like, yeah, we might use GitLab, we might use Trello. I think there was some opposition against GitLab, so maybe if Trello is more preferred solution. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I mean, we're not all programmers, and some of us just need pretty visuals and bright, cute colors to make it more fun and accessible. And some of us are just, we need something pretty. Let's have it pretty and not all in code.
Up. And for some reason, it's impossible to hear you, Map.
Next time you have to come with 3.
Sorry, you couldn't hear me because I was muted. That stops you from hearing me, and that was because I had swapped my phone to something else. I'm doing this fun thing where I have voice on my phone and I have everything else on my computer. So while it looks like I'm talking, my computer is not recording any sound at all. That's why there's 2 of me here. My suggestion is have the tool discussion in the Mattermost chat. You can have an hour, you can have 2, you can have 4 hours of tool discussions. And I think it's better to have that asynchronously with links where people can look at the tools and you can discuss them. I think prioritize tasks and assign tasks, that can all wait. And I think we should now move to 2.4. And only when we're done with 2.4 should we go back to what else we have left. And on the 2.4, I would like to say that I put everything I know about European Pirates related stuff there. The only thing you need to decide on in bold cursive. Those are your meetings. The rest is only for information purpose.
Okay, to me, this solution concerning the amount of time we have makes sense. So please check the. Let's move then to the point 2.4 and postpone the debate regarding about the tool to the later point and focus on this one, because actually definition of the sprints are is quite important. So if you just follow the path, it's on the line 180 plus, so to say. Generally, the idea would be that we would organize 4 board meetings since now. The first one would be on 22nd of May. The second one would be on 5th of June. The third one on 26th of June. And the seventh one would be physically in Brussels on the 7th of July. Probably it would be great should you have the opportunity to actually visit the European Parliament. Maybe we could combine that. And then on 8th of July, we may organize a council meeting online to actually resolve all the issues we need to resolve before the summer, mainly the financial and the election program and post-electoral strategy and so on. So that would be the idea. Are there comments, questions, and so on regarding this time schedule? Alessandro?
So basically, if I understood correctly, your proposal is to have 4 board meetings approximately every 2 weeks, right?
Yes. We had the discussion whether 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. I think this is sort of like a compromise that also kind of like fits a little bit with the schedule of the European Parliament, which makes it easier for, let's say, me and MAP to actually do the preparatory work for the board meetings.
Okay, if I may add something, of course, in this phase, we could try to do this. We have to split the things into the every sprint, every backlog, every sprint backlog every 2 weeks, because otherwise we will not make it. I am regarding the past, even though I'm very confident that this board will be more active than reactive than the previous one. I think that I think that the best fit for us could be on 3 weeks based, at least, not less, not often than 3 weeks. But I understand your point, and maybe we can try to do the phase 1. We can try to do it into 2 weeks sprint, also because it's a new board, and 3 weeks would be, in my opinion, a bit better to try to work together. But still, once again, we can have help for we can hopefully have external help. So I think that we could try. I still think that it's challenging, and I would prefer 3 weeks instead of 2, but never mind. I wouldn't oppose to this proposal anyway. Thanks.
Yeah, we had a little bit of discussion about that. Generally concerning, we have a lot of work to do in this phase 1 before the summer. I think it is kind of reasonable to have the sprints a little bit shorter and like really try to speed up. Later in the, let's say, phase 2, after the summer, I think we can easily go to have board meetings every 3 weeks, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm blocking Elizabeth from speaking.
No block. My question is, I'm good with 2 or 3 weeks, but my question is, General Assembly, we have been invited to attend the GA in Odense. What who are we? And who pays? If, like, can I go?
And are you referring now to the General Assembly of German Pirate Party, or which one?
Can I answer this?
It's in May in line 186 and 7.
Can I jump in? Yes. So that is the General Assembly of Alternativet, which is a Danish political party that sent visitors to us in Strasbourg, and they are eager to cooperate more closely with us. So we are the European Pirate Party, the entire organization. And then we would have to send someone. I've been in touch with the Icelandic MPs because they have resources. So Alternativet can't pay for the travel to Denmark, but they can pay for travel within Denmark. So the board can discuss who they want to send, but my suggestion would be that since there's no resources for the organization to send people, we send people who can afford or can have resources elsewhere to go, which would be that we ask someone of the Icelandic parliamentarians to come for the Saturday, and that I will be there on the Sunday.
But they can send me, right?
Well, so the Icelandic parliamentarians have budget for traveling themselves. I don't know if they can send others.
Yeah, but if the party would like to send me.
So I think if you want to go, we can add you, but I don't know who, but then you would have to find someone who can pay for it.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But we can basically send whoever we want to send.
Okay. I will speak to you privately regarding this.
What I think we might do is actually, whenever it is decided who would go, which we finalize in the Mattermost, we will do the, let's say, official nomination of a representative of the European Pirate Party to let's say asynchronously on the discourse. And thanks, Petra, for participating. Enjoy your evening. So, are there more questions, comments, and so on regarding the time schedule, or we may approve the time schedule and move further on?
I don't know if we don't have to vote. I think that we are done with the. I wrote in the minute that we are done with the agenda, the schedule below, basically every 2 weeks. But if we have to vote, let's vote.
I think we may, or let's vote. Let's vote so that we practice voting.
So vote is open at line 171.
There is actually a remark about the General Assembly of Pirate Party of Netherlands. Does anybody know more about that? Seems not to be the case, so we will investigate, and if there will be something, let's find out who could visit them and decide on Mattermost. Florian?
Yeah, I had a question because there are two urgent matters now, the budget and the Common European Election Programme. We have to submit them to a council meeting, so we will be waiting until July to resolve these matters.
Yes, the idea was to actually take the time until July to work on them and submit that to the council on the 8th of July. That's the trick.
Okay, but then in the meantime, we can't do anything in the PPEU then?
Well, actually, we can do a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but we don't have any budget to change things or anything, so.
yes, that's true. The question is what you want to spend budget for meanwhile.
Well, I don't know if you all paid attention to the drafts we tried to establish. But yeah, there are several questions to be answered regarding if we have to pay for registration, if we have to pay for an insurance, if we want to pay for our budget banking fees, if we want to budget council meeting expenses, if we want to budget travel costs, which could have helped us send someone to general assemblies here and there. If you want to, if you want to budget domain costs and stuff, you know. Because at the moment we can pay for anything, so.
Yeah, that's admittedly an issue. Map.
Well, I think those are all great questions, and I think the board deserves to get the time to discuss them, and that is what you will have until the council meeting. So the idea is that it's not that we're going to sit on our hands until July, but the board will actually make a comprehensive budget proposal to answer all these questions that you have, and then get that approved by the members.
That's but only in July then.
Well, first the board needs to agree, and that will take a while. And then you need to send it out for the members to assess, and then they will agree. And then, yes, after July, you will be able to implement those things.
Well, that's so fucking long, okay. I'm a bit surprised.
I would say if we have a need to actually take some action, whatever is it, to travel somewhere or to urgently do some stuff, let's talk about like an emergency solution. I think we can always find an emergency solution.
Yeah, we will have to review things, but I'm just a bit surprised at the moment. That's all. Yeah.
That's admittedly a problem that we haven't been able in the previous board term to let's say solve the finances. So now we are not really we have somehow budgetary provisorium. That's true, and it's not convenient.
Okay, so we agree on the agenda, on the schedule, right? I see the proposal has been approved.
Yes, I think so. I think we are there, and seems that there is clear majority for approving the agenda, which solved the problem of point 24. And we are effectively about, let's say, assigning the tasks for the next sprint. I don't know, Alessandro. Do you have more specific idea how it should be like?
Yes, I do have. Yeah. I don't know if Mab wants to speak because he always has this.
I see. Sorry.
Old hand again. I'm really sorry.
Okay, so the proposal is that now we have to decide what we have to put in this 2 weeks of sprint altogether, meaning that if you are putting something there, you have the idea of maybe doing that, because it's quite unpleasant that you put everything there and you say, okay, but this is not my task. So for instance, regarding what I have in mind, I think that the most urgent stuff for the treasury team is to have assessment. So I would like to spend these 2 weeks to have all the assessment regarding me for instance, even media assessment, it could be fine, but also IT assessments for sure. And all the assessment that we put in the backlog, it should be done immediately, because the budget 2023 needs every assessment on the table. That's my proposal.
Okay.
Yes, we can do this. Sorry, Miklos. Yes, we can do also, because I saw the Florian told that refine the CECP, but we should work into splitting into teams, because otherwise we will not make it. For sure, we have this obligation, and maybe we also have the CEP 24 obligation. So maybe Florian is right, but for sure with budget we need assessment.
Okay, I'm reading through the proposals as they were attributed. I honestly see it that way, that each of the people who have actually made or write their names to the list already has something to actually something to do, and there is no one who would be really overloaded. So we might make a general agreement that all the, let's say, tasks like assessments shall be done till the next board meeting, till the, let's say, through the first sprint, which means that it specifically refers to Mia and Veronica, who have like write themselves to work on the CEP. Then IT assessment and assessment of the systems, which Cedric volunteered to do. Then there is a assessment regarding the finances, where Alessandro and Florian have actually assigned their names, and that's it. Yeah, maybe also Florian proposed to volunteer on the rules of procedure. That's probably also what shall be done specifically before the next board meeting. So I would summarize it that those things are must-have, while the other things which are mentioned in the phase 1 are nice to have.
No, Miklos, sorry, I don't want to be said, but these things that we put on the 3 point are for the incoming 2 weeks. So
yep,
everything is must have actually, but we take care of this part in the first sprint, and the other one in the second, in the third, and even in the fourth. So they're all must have, just a matter of when, right?
Yeah, precisely.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that. Sorry.
22nd of May, we will do the check, and we will check whether these things are done. And those previously referred, like the assessments, shall be done on 22nd of May. I will, of course, gladly try to prepare the post-election strategy already now, but I think as it stays, it's not necessarily yet on 22nd of May to present the first draft. Still, I would like to do so. That's an example, so to say. But I think we are clear on that, and everybody kind of like understands specifically. Yeah. So Mia and Veronica, they understand what they need to do regarding the CEP. Cedric regarding the IT, Florian and Alessandro regarding the finances. Elizabeth?
Yeah, can I be like not deadline-ish for the next 2 weeks. I just want to gather material and because the onboarding stuff that I want to do, that's going to be happening for next couple of months. Is that okay?
Yes, I think that's that's our understanding. That's why the onboarding stuff is referred to be done mainly in the phase 2, or the mapping of the systems and the structures. It's mainly the phase 2, so that's why we kind of like expect that it will take more time until the let's say the time after the summer. But
Yeah.
of course, I mean, like you would be gladly invited to report your progress already at the next board meeting. But I mean, like anybody can report the progress, and it would be great should you report any like progress, even if it would be just like a minor part of the task. Still, it's great. But those above mentioned assessments are, let's say, priority for this sprint, so it has to be done like. It has to be done. That's because otherwise we will not move further on from the next meeting.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I am supposed to be able to assess something, it would take all my free time just to study that. So I'm opting out.
No, I don't think you are specifically mentioned above among the people who are supposed to deliver some assessment to the next board meeting. So it's fine if you, let's say, take your time.
No, I meant with the money thing and all the things that you are doing and knowing and have been doing, you know.
I was a bit of under the impression that as Alessandro and Florian assigned themselves for budget 2023 and discharge 2022, they will be working on that, concerning the fact that they are kind of like willing to provide us an assessment until the next board meeting. I hope they will provide us an assessment, so you probably do not necessarily need to study that, because there will be probably during the next meeting, let's say, an introductory session on this stuff. Yeah. So I think we are kinda ready. We know what to do until the next meeting. Honestly, concerning the fact that we are talking already 1.5 hours, and we have more or less done all the decisions we needed to do, I would suggest to postpone the discussions without decision to the next board meeting, if you don't mind, and maybe let you have a dinner. Any objections to that procedure?
I'm very sad because I work a lot, but I won't oppose.
I mean, do you think that it is worth to
No, absolutely
debate
not.
with hungry people, or
no, absolutely not. I will just show you the next time. Actually, I would like to do this because I prepare something. So also Onza can because it is the last one missing. So Onza has the time to fulfill the assessment, the map culture assessment, and then I will upload in the result, all the graphs in the, and then we will discuss it maybe next time, just 5-10 minutes at the beginning of the next board meeting. And
okay,
if you want.
Let's do, please, because I'm really curious about this assessment or this technique. So some more final words, Elizabeth?
Yes, about the culture map, me being like the personal type and not knowing you guys, I was wondering, like, plus the assessment, to have a bit of personal introduction as well. Like, hi, I'm this type, and I'm this, and I do this in my real life, and etc. Is that like not a part of the technique? Can we have a bit of a personal touch as well, so I will remember who is best at what?
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess as we had, especially as we had so many guests, is probably good to have sort of like introduction map.
My suggestion was to have a social hang after the meeting is closed, because then I know that I can go, which I unfortunately have to do because I have kids' duties waiting outside the room. But I think as a general rule, a bit of social interaction for those who have time after every meeting might be a very good way for you to get to know each other.
That's certainly a very reasonable idea, but I also would like to apologize for like having some personal life. So I would also leave you, but maybe in that case I would officially end this meeting, and we will send you an invitation for the next meeting as scheduled previously. So thank you very much and have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys.